The fourth season of Legacies burst onto our screens last month, just 9 months after the end of Season 3. We guessed they were making up for lost time after the pandemic interruption. This week saw the 52nd episode of the grandchild of the Vampire Diaries, which spawned the originals and in turn Legacies. Today we're looking at how a particular death and plot twist has changed the course of Season 4. Stay with us. First up, let's recap the latest episode. Those of you who missed this week's episode of Legacies need to go back and watch it immediately. 7 years in the making, last week's episode finally sent Hope packing to the other side. Once there, she encounters none other than her old friend, foe, Ted. Hope has no idea whether to return to the real world or head for peace. Previously, Ted told her that her family would not find peace until she does, but he now claims that he doesn't remember a lot back from those days. Wonder if he's telling the truth or not here. Hope dives into the water, not before telling Ted to tell her dad, mom, or uncle not to wait for her if they happen to pass by. With Hope searching for answers, the real world was falling apart, quite literally. Alaric's having a rough old time of it when he confronts some possessed townies but barely escapes with his life. He then goes head to head against Caleb, dragon power and all, who quite kindly promises not to absorb him after killing him so everyone he knows can remember what a failure he was. That's nice of him, isn't it? So how did the episode end? Stay with us to find out. Turns out Hope arrives back above ground just in time to show Caleb who's boss. Hope then feeds on Alaric under a dramatic red sky, fully transforming herself into a hybrid. She asserts her dominance easily over Landivore and makes all three species proud by beating the bejesus out of him before he runs off with his tail between his legs. She was all ready to go further and stab Landivore before Landon rejoined the party and stopped her dead in her tracks. This was the final goodbye we had been building up to. He tells her, "We both know you have to kill me," giving her the green light to do the deed. Hope then sends him on his merry way to the afterlife, but it's unclear what's in store for Landon. Where do you think his storyline goes? Hope realizes he doesn't have anywhere near the required mental fortitude to deal with the death of her boyfriend and simultaneously become the most powerful world being. So out comes the leather jacket and Alaric's guts as a message to anyone who might harbor ideas of rescuing her. Wow, quite the eventful episode. So what does all this mean for the rest of the season? Fear not, we don't have to wait long to find out what's going to happen after Hope's sort of death. Showrunner Brett Matthews let slip that the next episode will have very major implications for the show and obviously for Hope's character. As a result, ripples through all of her friends. Sounds a bit spicy, right? He went on to explain that this is very much a sliding door sort of moment and that Hope's story will affect the entire world. Seems as though this is a definite turning point in not just the season, but maybe the show. Matthews also went on to explain that the plan was always for Season 4 to be a little darker than the previous 3 and that every one of the characters will be radically altered as they learn how to deal with what just happened in the last episode. He went on to add that this season is going to be the least romantic Legacy seasons ever. I mean, we're not sure how romantic vampires and death and all that can actually be anyway, Brett. He said, "This is a bomb that has dropped in the universe of the show and it's going to really affect the future of things. Characters are going to be faced with very hard decisions and characters are going to make decisions that they don't necessarily like and people may not like, but it's challenging. It seems as though they're about to figure out what life is like when you actually grow up. What do you think will happen next?" Some Kaylee Bryant news next, stay tuned. In case you missed it over the summer, Kaylee Bryant, who plays Josie Seltzman on the show, came out as queer. Good for you, Kaylee. In an Instagram post where she can be seen holding a rainbow flag, Bryant announced, "Hi, my name is Kaylee and I'm queer. Happy Pride Month," with a whole host of fun emojis next to her post. Obviously, there was an outpouring of congratulations on the actor's post, with one fan exclaiming, "OMFG, Happy Pride Month, Kaylee. I love you so much and you are so valid." Another fan congratulated her and welcomed her to the club. It's nice to see so many people comfortable enough to come out these days, as it's no longer holds the stigma it once did. That's progress, ladies and gentlemen. We're discussing a Tribrid theory next. There have been much speculation surrounding the Tribrid and who or what it actually compromises. And some fans actually believe this wicked trifecta is Hope, Lizzie, and Josie combining to join forces. Having been criticized by fans for giving too much focus to the main characters, this theory will bring two of the series' most underrated characters right into the spotlight. The theory goes on to explain that the reason we haven't yet seen Hope access her vampire powers is because the Tribrid is not actually hers alone. It also consists of Lizzie and Josie, who each need to be present to provide their powers to Hope. Hope needs to use anything she can to take down Malivore, who is a golem and also Landon's dad, which will make Christmas dinner a bit awkward. As we've seen throughout the series, Hope appears to be a lot stronger when she's around her friends Josie and Lizzie. Whenever they have previously used their powers together, they have appeared pretty unstoppable. Both of Hope's friends are also rare creatures, with an ability to take power from nearby beings. We don't actually know the level of power the ladies possess, as the show's usually so focused on Hope. This could be the reason for not having delved too much into the characters' abilities. They might be waiting to reveal them in season 4. We're not sure about this one. It might seem a little far-fetched, but then again, the whole show is not exactly reality now, is it? What do you guys think of this theory? Any truths in it? Some news of when the current season will hit Netflix now. While season 4 debuted in mid-October on the CW network, it will be some time before we see it on Netflix. We don't currently know how many episodes the 4th season will contain, but there is speculation that it could be the usual 16, with the CW potentially tacking on an additional 4, which would mean the show would not finish until later spring 2022 at the very earliest. Most shows who have a Netflix deal appear to be online streaming service 8 days after their finale, but season 3 of Legacies did not. Season 3 took much longer, almost a year for some reason. So it's yet to be seen when season 4 will be added. Hopefully fans don't have to wait as long as they did for season 3. News of a new or old star for the show. Stay with us to find out who. Fans of the originals, make sure you're sitting down for this news. Legacies is recruiting one of our favorite originals cast members. Claire Holt, who plays vampire Rebecca Mikaelson, will be appearing on Legacies in the coming episodes, and we are psyched. Hope's aunt will appear in the very next episode, coming 3 years after the finale of the originals. Fantastic news. In a leaked image from the 5th episode of season 4, we see Hope and her auntie at a bar with matching leather jackets, staring off into the horizon. It's yet to be seen how Rebecca's storyline will play out, but we believe she's here for good. The episode synopsis tells us Hope is tracked down by the one person who could help her. Rebecca is fearful of what path Hope has chosen, but makes every effort to get through to her. After all the mayhem of the last episode, it makes sense for Rebecca to be worried. Hopefully she can steer Hope back down the right path. Whatever happens in episode 5 and throughout the rest of the season, we're delighted she's back. What do you make of the re-emergence of Rebecca? Let us know below. Also, give us your predictions for the rest of season 4. Which direction do you see it heading, especially given the return of Rebecca? As always, thanks for tuning in, and remember to swing by next time. Thanks, guys.